Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Picket lines went up at state university campuses across California today, including San Diego State. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Carroll in for Maya Trabulsi. A contract with the CSU's largest labor union is set to expire at midnight. KPBS reporter Alexander Nguyen says the workers are seeking better pay.
Dozens of CSU employees, union workers in San Diego joined hundreds of others across the state to demand fair wages.
We want to be able to support our families.
The union represents more than 36,000 staffers and student workers across the entire California State University system, from groundskeepers to nurses to office workers who keep the university running.
We are the people that operate the university.
The union has been negotiating with the CSU since early May, but their contract expires at midnight.
We're asking to be placed on our steps properly.
Matt Lang is on the executive board of the local SDSU chapter.
I've talked to folks that their increases would have been close to 30%, and they did not get that. And so we're trying to fight to get those people onto the proper step structure and to get their proper increase.
Today, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a final agreement for next year's budget. It provides funding increases for the CSU system. In a statement, the CSU says the budget will allow it to cover mandatory costs and fund other key priorities, such as employee compensation.
So the CSU really doesn't have any reason to not pay us our proper salary structure.
You wouldn't have to consider a second job like I'm currently doing right now.
Tamika Lovelace is an administrative coordinator at SDSU. She says the union is ready to strike if need be.
But we're hoping not to get there. We want a seat at the table, and we want our negotiations to be taken seriously.
The union says if it strikes, that would effectively shut down the nation's largest public university system.
We're kind of like the linchpin, if you think, in the system. If you pull us out, like, the whole system falls.
In a statement, the CSU says it is committed to bargaining in good faith with the union. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
Many hospitality workers in the city of San Diego will soon see a bump in their paychecks. A new law increasing the minimum wage for hospitality workers takes effect tomorrow. Event center workers will now make at least $21.06 an hour, and employees at hotels with 150 or more rooms, as well as amusement park workers, must then tomorrow be paid $19 an hour. Wages will continue to increase for hospitality workers until they reach $25 an hour by 2030.
While temperatures dropping once again to the mid to low 60s, depending on exactly where you are tonight. Still some clouds sticking around, but we're starting to see some shifts this week in the forecast, and I'm going to give you an early look at your 4th of July weekend forecast coming up.
The Supreme Court ended its term with two blockbuster rulings this morning. Karen Kafa is in Washington to break down the court's final opinions.
The final rulings of the term brought a rebuff of a key piece of President Donald Trump's immigration agenda and a win for conservatives in the culture war over transgender athletes.
The Supreme Court knocking down President Donald Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship and leaving in place the more than century-long understanding that anyone born in the United States is a U.S. citizen, even if that child's parents are not. Cecilia Wang, National Legal Director for the American Civil Liberties Union and a birthright citizen, made the argument against the Trump administration in April.
This decision reaffirms one of the fundamental pillars of American life, that all of us who are born on American soil are citizens alike.
Joined by Justices Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, and Ketanji Brown Jackson in a 6-3 majority. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote of U.S. citizenship, quote, "The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land. We keep that promise today." In a dissent, Justice Samuel Alito wrote the ruling, quote, "preserves a powerful incentive to enter or remain in this country illegally," an idea echoed by House Speaker Mike Johnson Tuesday.
It's been abused. It's one of those things that was intended to serve a noble and important purpose and has been thwarted.
Also Tuesday, the court's conservative majority upheld state laws that ban transgender athletes from playing on girls' sports teams, including one in West Virginia.
This is the best way to make sure that women and girls and transgender athletes have appropriate places to play that is fair and competitive.
Joshua Block of the ACLU argued on behalf of the plaintiff in the West Virginia case, Becky Pepper Jackson.
In time, the people are going to see today's decision as a historic mistake.
President Trump on social media called the court's decision in the transgender athletes case a big win. He criticized the court for the birthright citizenship ruling and urged the Republican-led Congress to take action. In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
Gas prices in San Diego have dropped for the 39th time in 40 days. The average cost of a gallon of regular gas is now $5.49. Although prices have been declining as of late, they are set to climb again come tomorrow. That's because the gas tax is set to increase again by 2 cents. The new rate will be about 63.5 cents per gallon, the highest rate in the country. It comes at a time when prices are falling, but still about 87 cents more expensive than a year ago.
It is a little absurd to see that high of a gas price because gas has been higher everywhere, but here in California it's just way more than everywhere else in the state country, I feel like.
I mean, I can see, that huge dent on my bank statement,
California's gas tax was established in 2017 to pay for road repairs and other infrastructure projects. It increases every year, adjusted for inflation. San Diego is moving to crack down on landlords that charge fees in addition to monthly rent. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says the proposal would ban charging rent for pets.
According to the ASPCA, the average pet rent in San Diego is $51 per month. It's one example of what critics call junk fees. Those are charges on top of rent that can be confusing and aren't always disclosed up front. City Council member Sean Ela Rivera is proposing to require landlords to itemize and explain all of those fees when advertising a unit. He would also cap their sum total at 5% of monthly rent.
This isn't about creating unnecessary burdens. It's about restoring fairness, increasing transparency, and helping rebalance the relationship between tenants and landlords so renters have the information they need to make informed decisions.
Tenants in San Diego have reported being charged convenience fees, processing fees, notice fees, lease termination fees, and trash valet fees. Attorneys say the practice has grown since California adopted statewide limits on rent increases in 2019.
This way, landlords could increase the rent to the max and on top of that collect these additional fees. For what purpose? To maximize profit at the expense of renters.
The County Board of Supervisors is considering a similar ordinance on fee transparency. The City Council discussed the measure Tuesday. A final vote is expected sometime in the fall. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
I'm Amna Navaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, the Supreme Court wraps up its term with a series of landmark decisions. That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Far more Hispanic and Latino students are graduating from high school than did 20 years ago. That, according to a new report on youth well-being in San Diego County. KPBS education reporter Katie Anastas tells us why.
High school started at a very difficult time.
It was 2020 when Carlo Vasquez Melendez started his freshman year of high school. Trying to focus on school during COVID was difficult, but he found reasons to stick with it.
It was people in my life that knew that I was capable of doing something.
Organizations like the Barrio Logan College Institute kept him on track. It served students who would be the first in their families to go to college.
It was definitely something that I knew that I could rely on every step of the way, whether it was mentoring, whether it was tutoring, whether it was personal help.
Now he's studying political science at San Diego State University. A new report shows he's part of a growing number of Hispanic and Latino students graduating from high school in San Diego County. In 2005, only 7 in 10 graduated from high school. By 2023, that number had grown to 9 in 10.
I think these community orgs have been really helpful at filling gaps between what the schools can provide. Schools can't do this alone.
Dean Gerdeman is with the San Diego Foundation. They helped fund the report. He says since 2013, the state has given more money to districts that need it most.
Schools are doing better at more kind of consistently tracking and supporting students and intervening earlier.
High schools are offering more career training, and more students are taking college classes.
I think in totality, those sets of things have given young people in high school more reasons to engage, more different ways to engage, and just kind of reasons to stick around.
College enrollment has also increased among Hispanic and Latino students, but it's still below the countywide percentage. Gerdeman says college isn't the right fit for everyone, but there are other questions about life after high school.
For the students who aren't going to college, are they getting strong career supports? Are they going into post-secondary training and apprenticeships, or something else that gets them to that pathway and achieve their goals?
Goals like livable wages. The report found that the number of young people earning enough to support themselves has dropped to just 1 in 10. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
For the Filipino diaspora, food is a strong tether to their homeland and their identity. But for decades, traditional fruits and vegetables from the Philippines were hard to come by. In part 2 of our series, KPBS reporter Elaine Alfaro shares how the Filipino community has continued culinary and cultural traditions in home gardens.
If you could see me now, the one who said I'd rather be alone.
You can often hear Modesta Gunawa Amiling in her backyard before you see her.
Oh, instead of talking to my husband because he don't listen, I talk to my plants. I go, oh, you're so beautiful. Good morning. I sing to them too.
Can you give us a sample?
Oh yeah, I can sing. Sad movies always makes me cry. That's an old one.
Either singing to the leafy camote tops or complimenting her calamansi fruits.
That's my therapy. Yeah, because I can talk to my plants. I love planting.
Gunawa Amiling's garden is part of the collective story of San Diego's Filipino-American community, which is one of the largest in the United States. She grew up in a remote area of Kalinga, Philippines, which had limited access to stores or markets. So her family grew what they ate.
While growing up as a kid, it was our parents don't have to tell us to plant. We are still babies, I think, that we cannot still understand, and we know that when we grow up, they will gonna start doing the soil, to dig the soil and plant something for food, for survival.
She came to San Diego in 1984 after her husband was stationed at a naval base. Filipino migration to San Diego was heavily influenced by the Navy. Servicemen who were stationed here would petition to bring their wives and children to set up their new life in areas like Paradise Hills and National City. These home gardens speak to a bigger part of Filipino culture that Joanna Latorre grew up with in her grandparents' house. Then she made it central to her PhD research at the University of Washington.
This is just a very important site of cultural reproduction, where they're not just growing foods, they're also practicing their culture, a culture of generosity, a culture that, they have been practicing since before they got here, is how they were raised, and they continue to do it.
These home gardens often have kamote, calamansi, lemon, sitaw, and ampalaya, all fruits and vegetables from the Philippines that are foundational to traditional Filipino dishes like sinigang. Alfonso Villamora also grew up like Gunawa Amiling, growing crops out of necessity.
My gardening started even overseas, because that was already my psyche. Where I grew up, that was something I did, raise vegetables, because self-sufficiency is what our parents taught us.
That lesson stayed with him even after he joined the U.S. Navy in 1975. Wherever he was stationed during his service, San Diego, Guam, and Japan, he'd plant gardens. In 1992, he and his wife purchased their current home in Spring Valley and planted their permanent garden. Villamora says access to Filipino fruits and vegetables in San Diego looked a lot different in 1975.
And then back here, started growing many vegetables because at that time we had to go to downtown just to buy vegetable, meat. There wasn't a whole lot of Oriental outlets.
So he'd bring back seeds from the Philippines for his garden. Over the years, his garden has produced camote, calamansi, and more, and his family has grown too. He has 3 granddaughters, 6-year-old Eleanor Rigby, 12-year-old Abby Rode, and 14-year-old Penny Lane. Yes, you're hearing it right, all inspired by the Beatles.
They got a lot of memories. It reminds me that they were much of this garden, their lives.
He set aside their own spaces in the garden. Abby Road and Penny Lane have their own street signs in the front yard, and Ellie Rigby has her own hideout. Here's how the girls describe the garden. Penny first.
I feel like a sense of comfort knowing the garden is like where I basically come from, and like where like that's basically the garden that I've lived with my whole life.
And Abby.
What I feel when I go to the garden, I just feel like really calm because it's all quiet and like peaceful back there.
And Ellie.
It feels like love coming from a long way.
The girls intend to continue the lessons their Lolo taught them in both gardening and cooking. Penny and her sisters dream of the day they'll have their own spaces to nurture and grow, just like their Lolo. Elaine Alfaro, KPBS News.
For generations, Americans have looked to the Declaration of Independence as a defining statement of the nation's core principles, the belief in equality and unalienable rights. Those ideas helped shape democracy here and inspired movements worldwide. Michael Yoshida reports on how the document remains a powerful symbol of freedom.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This creedal language in the Declaration of Independence has helped to define the United States of America for 250 years. But
it wasn't considered the most significant part of that document when it was first written.
in fact, it was detailing the frustrations with increasingly oppressive British rule that the founders cared most about as colonists began to consider what their rights were.
They were really focused on the grievances because that it was justifying their separation and the fact that they were now creating free and independent states.
At war with Britain for over a year and badly in need of alliances that other countries would forge only with a sovereign state, the founders were pushed to declare independence in order to gain freedom.
Without that treaty with France and French intervention in helping us in the American Revolution, we don't win the American Revolution.
But getting to a formal declaration was a process. It started as a three-part resolution from Virginia delegate Richard Henry Lee and was further crafted by a group of 5.
Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Robert R. Livingston, and Roger Sherman. The reason why the committee was appointed was, hey, explain why we're separating from Great Britain. And they explained that by creating this Bill of Grievances.
Thomas Jefferson then put pen to paper and brought the ideas to life before finally putting the Declaration up for a vote.
This is the room where it happened. On July 2nd, 1776, you had Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock, and others voting on, and then about a month later, signing the Declaration of Independence.
The Second Continental Congress passed the final wording of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th. Most of the signers are going to sign on August 2nd.
When they affix their names, they believe that they are signing their death warrant.
This willingness to risk their lives, fortunes, and honor not only laid the foundation for the U.S. Constitution, but would also fuel democratic causes across generations, from abolition to suffrage to civil rights.
You can see a direct line between the Declaration of Independence and the UN Declaration of Human Rights. You can see it in specific countries' declarations of independence. Martin Luther King Jr., who refers to it as the Great Promissory Note of America.
What began as a bold break from a king became a blueprint for democracy that is still shaping the world today. I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Well, we're tracking a slower warming trend. We're still mostly below historical averages right now. By the time we get to the weekend, some of us will be back in the ballpark. Others, it's not until next week. Our marine layer, though, becoming shallower as we go through to the rest of today into tomorrow. So fewer of us dealing with the June gloom, even though, hey, you know what? It's the last day of June. So it's really mainly the coast and portions of the Inland Empire. We're also taking a look at the 4th of July weekend forecast. But let's start off with what to expect tonight. Borrego Springs still in the low 60s. Hey, looking good. Enjoy it while you can because the triple-digit highs, they are coming back, and that means our lows are going up too. We're in the low 60s in Oceanside, 64 for San Diego, 61 in El Cajon. As we look ahead to tomorrow, well, take a look. A lot of variation here. Borrego Springs in the mid-90s. Again, take advantage of it while you can. It's not lasting long. 80s for Ramona. We go to 73 for Chula Vista and 72 by the time we get to San Diego. Not a lot of variation along the coast, of course, as tends to happen as we went through last week and into this week. So taking a look at your 5-day outlook overall, we do warm up by Saturday, 76 degrees for your 4th of July holiday, which, you know, sounds pretty comfortable to me, but to each their own personal preference here. Maybe you're a fan of the low 70s. Further inland, we're getting into the 80s by the time we get to Friday, 82 for your Saturday. Mostly sunny skies. That should help with our firework forecast and any firework or drone show viewing that you might have going on. Into the mountains we go, 60s for the rest of the week. And then by the time we go to Saturday, 71. And here's our big temperature contrast, 71 to 78 Saturday to Sunday. And then we just continue warming there as we head into next week. Now, for the deserts, well, by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, we are back right in the ballpark of our historical average where we typically would be this time of year. So enjoy Wednesday, Thursday while you can with that slow climb back to the triple digits, 101 for your 4th of July holiday. For KPBS News, I'm AccuWeather's Anna Azalian.
The Dykes on Bikes group has been leading the San Francisco Pride Parade for decades now. This Pride Month, the group marks its 50th anniversary. Karina Nova has more on their history.
Kate Brown still remembers the first time she saw Dykes on Bikes at the San Francisco Pride Parade. It changed her life.
Before you see Dykes on Bikes, you hear them. All of a sudden you hear hundreds of motorcycle engines turning over and there's this cacophony of sound that happens. And then you see them coming. When I experienced that, it was a very palpable feeling. I was like, that's me. That's exactly who I need to be.
Brown wasn't a rider then, but the experience inspired her to learn. Today, she's president of a group whose story began at Pride 50 years ago.
1976, it was the Gay Freedom Day March, and a small group of dykes were on their motorcycles and decided to move from back somewhere in the march to the very front of the march. We've been known as Dykes on Bikes ever since.
It was a bold move at the time.
It was going against the status quo. We didn't want to be behind the gay men, you know, we really wanted to claim our own space. We've always been pushing that boundary and being loud and saying, here we are, see us.
That includes their monthly rides.
Everybody here?
We met several members as they prepared for a Saturday ride covering more than 100 miles.
Well, today's ride is a Delta ride.
Maria Pujaca is the road captain. She organizes the rides.
Dykes on Bikes represents freedom. Freedom of speech and freedom of existence and freedom of riding. You're literally smelling everything, hearing everything. You have power, you have maneuverability. It's just a really wonderful feeling. And then when you hit the curves, it feels fantastic.
It's wind therapy for the day. We're calmed into each other. We can talk to each other. But there's times when we're just riding and it's just quiet because we're all just enjoying it.
Sue Bolander has been riding motorcycles for nearly 40 years. For her, being a part of Dykes on Bikes means more than just freedom on the road.
I remember my first year of college being afraid to go into the LGBT meeting.
Now she feels safe to be herself.
It's a great culture to be around, you know, when you're with other women that have the same likes and, you know, same interests, and I just enjoy it.
The organization fought to use the word dyke. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office first refused to let them use the word dyke and then to use the logo. The government said it was disparaging towards lesbians. Dykes on Bikes took the cause to the Supreme Court and won twice.
It was a major victory for LGBTQ rights, for freedom of expression, for for being able to say and take an epithet, words of hate and use them in a self-referential manner and say, this is exactly who we are. Dyke has always been a word that conveys power, that conveys strength. I proudly call myself a dyke. I use dyke, I use queer, because to me, that's my identity.
Now there are Dykes on Bikes clubs all over the world, often leading off pride parades. San Francisco is the mother chapter and controls the use of the word dyke, so it's portrayed in a positive way.
We all empower one another. As soon as the motorcycles start up, the crowd starts roaring. And then everybody on a bike gets a big old smile on their face. They're revving their motors. And to be right there in the front and have everybody see you first, it's a natural high.
Many pride parades also follow the San Francisco tradition of having Dykes on Bikes lead the festivities. Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. On NPR's Morning Edition, student athletes react to the Supreme Court decision allowing states to bar transgender athletes from participating on women's sports teams. And on KPBS Midday Edition, we take a look at new state laws taking effect starting tomorrow, July 1st. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. I'm John Carroll. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.